Welcome to this March 21st edition of Keystroke Live. I'm Dave Hunsinger, going to be talking to you today about Upsell Scripts. We appreciate you being here. It's a snowy day in Colorado. I am going to go ahead and mute everyone for while I talk. I'll probably only be 15 minutes or so to give you a little idea of Upsell Scripts, and then I'll unmute, and I'd be happy to take any questions and also any examples or ideas on scripts you guys have used that have been very useful for customers. So I am going to go ahead. Remember, Keystroke Live is every Thursday at 9 a.m., same login information. So we look forward to seeing you every week. I also just wanted to mention, too, we've been kind of doing a mini series on very specific topics. We did graphical forms last week. I'm doing Keystroke Live this week. Next week, Lynn is going to talk about dealing with deposits used and deposits made on closeouts, and we have a new report to identify deposits used. In April, we're going to be talking about toolbar editing, the new key mail program to email forms and invoices and statements. So there's a lot on the burner here, and again, we're trying to be a little more specific with topics. Today's not here's how you use the script editor, but here are some specific applications. And if you've got any ideas, we are always open to them. Feel free to send anyone here an email, and we will get it on the agenda for Keystroke Live. Today I'm going to talk about scripts and basically how to use them to upsell things. Remember, script editor is part of the advanced POS. Used to be a separate module. Now it's integrated into the program. And the start-end scripts that we look at first are under the entry parameters in Keystroke. And I'm going to switch over to Keystroke now. The script editor was originally written, you probably heard me say this before, but I'll give you the quick history, for a company that made photo mugs. And they came to us saying, hey, they pick a mug size, a mug color, whether they're using text or a stock photo or a photo provided by the person that's ordering it. And so kind of a way of stepping through a custom transaction. And that's why we built the script editor. But we realized, gosh, it's good for a lot more than scripting a transaction. So it's been used for those coffee mugs. It's been used for a company that makes radio antennas on like what kind of bass, what kind of boom, what kind of electronics, computers to build how much memory, what kind of hard drive, processor, other things like that. So there's a lot of ways of scripting through, but I'm going to talk about using them to upsell. And one way of upselling is just we have our starting script, we call it, so that it starts when you run a transaction. We did originally add this so that you could say, give me your zip code, and you could type the zip code in this script. You could tag on an item that was a zip code. There's a lot of things you can do with it there. But here I'm just going to select a customer, and I get a starting script. You can be as specific with this information that you want the clerk to read, or generally tell them what you want to say. But I could say we're having a great special today on flashlights. Got a variety of sizes. They are displayed right here beside the register. Brings up my choice of flashlights and prices, and okay, maybe they choose this flashlight, and I add it to the item. So your clerk is going to say the right thing every time. They're going to remember to do it. If the guy's already got a flashlight, he doesn't have to read what's on the screen. There's a lot you can do to try to upsell that transaction. Sticking with the flashlights, I'm going to put in a flashlight, and a simple way of doing is saying, hey, we've got excellent batteries to go with that flashlight. It takes size D. Would you like some? You could also have in here, hey, they're in aisle 3 or whatever, and then I can pop up all of my D-size batteries. I might have Eveready, Duracell, who knows what brands, but my different size packs and the prices, and you can say, oh yeah, that 2-pack is only $4 and that'll go great with your flashlight, and put it on there, and so I've got my flashlights and batteries all ready to go. Can go ahead and have them purchase it, and I am ready for the next transaction. This starting script comes up on every time you do a transaction. Just going to hit escape to get out of it. It's entered under transaction parameters and entry, and here we have a starting script and an ending script. So for the start of the transaction and the end of the transaction. So I've got this set up under starting script. I've got my message that tells me we're having the great special. If I wanted to, I could come in here and say batteries are in aisle 4, left-hand side. Just so if I needed that message there, I could add to it. And then here's my list of batteries. I could have more batteries, less batteries, maybe only batteries I want to sell. But it's a way of saying, hey, here's a complementary item that goes with that. You could do things like somebody buys vanilla hand lotion, and you can say, hey, I've got some great vanilla soap that's just like that. You might like that item too. So depending on the environment and the upsell possibilities, you can do a lot of that, but these are complementary or supplemental items. Now we can also just hit an F10 to get out of these. Now we can also do a script that will upsell the actual item. So here I'm selecting another flashlight, and this is a 3D battery flashlight, and my clerk could say, for only a few dollars more, you can get the 6D battery model rather than that little 3D battery model. Bigger's better, right? So you could come in here and say, and if the person says no, you can just hit escape. If they say yes, I have it so that my item was replaced from the 3 battery flashlight to the 6 battery flashlight. Again, if I put in my flashlight, the message pops up. If I pull down this script, you see it's the 3 battery flashlight. If I hit escape, it'll just leave it as the 3 battery flashlight. Oh, and if I hit enter, it combines it with the previous line item there. So again, I'm looking at ways of prompting clerks that aren't always the highest paid employees to really work for a merchant's business to add to the sale. Business consultants tell you want to increase the average sale of transactions, so whatever you can tack on there can help a merchant. Another example of that is let's say the Keystroke Updates Plus plan, and I'm just going to go ahead and edit this to create the script. I'm going to hit F3, F3 again. I'm going to select scripts here, and this gives me all of my scripting options. I can have it beep so that wakes up the clerk from their semi-trance that they're in as they check people out. And I'm going to come right here, hit enter, and this is, we can call it upsell, and say, for only $100 more, you can get the silver plan. And, you could put in a big, long sales spiel here if you want. and I can use it on all sales transaction types, or I could say, hey, I'm just going to do this on sales invoice when the person's in front of me. The advanced restrictions are if you wanted to do it for a certain date range or a time of day or day of week. And then I can also put in, call this silver, just for lack of, and this will be a, we already did the reminder message. This will be the add item from a list of one, and display product code. And here I think I called it K2. And then I would replace the scripted item, meaning when I selected it, it would automatically replace the Updates Plus plan. Go ahead and save that. Hit F10 again to save it. Hit F10 to save it again. I'm going to go ahead and clear my sale. Oh, sorry. Going to go ahead and clear my sale. Just hit escape. It's got my flashlight special. I don't want any of those. So now when I select my Keystroke Updates Plus plan for only $100 more, you can get silver. Wow, that sounds like a great deal. Here is the item, and I select it, and it automatically replaces the previous item, and I have increased my average sale there. So that was a few quick, easy ways of using script to increase the average sale. Remember, here in the Sales Manager under Transactions Parameter Entry, you have your starting script or your ending script. So the ending script would activate when you leave the line item entry screen and go to the complete sale. If you want to do something at the end to say, hey, you can get, you know, you can buy this for $5. Do you want this extra item? And they can say yes or no. If you're selling things like electronics, iPods, hard drives, you can do the scripts you see in a lot of stores to say, hey, do you want a service plan to go with that? We have the 1 year, 3 year, 5 year for different prices. So there's a lot you can do with that. And then the individual item scripts. Do you want some batteries? Sure, I'll take some batteries. So I've added all that. Remember, the individual scripts are now integrated into the inventory. I hit F3, see the line item detail. Hit F3 again, get to the actual inventory item, and scripts are right there ready to add. So that was a quick and easy overview on how to use scripts to upsell items. I am going to go ahead and unmute everybody and to see if there are any questions or if anybody's got a comment to add on ways they've used scripting to upsell items. And I think I've got people unmuted. So are there any questions or comments on how you use scripts to upsell? And I'm getting crickets. Well, I know Kennard has used scripting. If you saw those advanced options that give you day of week, time of day, he uses a lot of those features for they have like a wine day, right, Kennard?
Yes, sir.
Wednesday is wine day, and so it lets them do special things just on a certain day of the week. So there's the possibilities are endless, and you know, it's a great thing to try. So any questions at all? All right. Well, thank you very much for being here today. And next week, we will be talking about dealing with deposits used and deposits made on closeouts with Lynn, 9 a.m. Thursday. I better get outside and start shoveling some of that